Helen here. Thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to be making an Aperture card that's got a lattice inlay. I'm going to start off making the card base with a piece of card that's 19 by 29 centimetres and it's folded at 14.5 centimetres, a second piece that's a half A4 sheet and top panel that's 18 by 13.5 centimetres. I'm going to be using the Simon Says stamped stitched rectangles, and I'm going to be using the Tailored Expressions circle plate dies. I'll need a small piece of card that fits that. To get started, I'm going to get my folded card base and I'm going to take the second largest of the rectangle dies and measure the centre of the card base, stick it down and then die cut with my die cutting machine. Just make sure before die cutting that you open the card up, otherwise you'll end up cutting through both thicknesses. To do the next piece, fold the card, put the A5 piece of card, butt it right up into the folded edge, seat the die back into the rectangle that you just cut out, and then draw a pencil line on the inside of the die. Take the card out of the card, put the die back onto the pencil line, stick it down with some repositionable tape and then run it through your die cutting machine. Put your top panel into the inside of your card, roughly where it will be sitting on the outside of the card, reseat your die and then draw again around the inside. Then you can remove the panel from the inside of the card, re-put the rectangle over the pencil lines, stick it down and run it through your die cutting machine. It is a bit fiddly, but it means that all the rectangles are going to line up beautifully. We've got all our components now ready to make our base card. I've also cut one of the lattice pieces ready. I'm going to cut some fun foam to put on the back of the top panel. So I'm going to just cut it to size with some scissors, draw around the rectangle with a pencil and then cut it out to fit. I then stick it with some tape runner to the back of the top panel. I'm going to now glue the lattice onto the top of the base card. So just glue around the edge with any of craft glue. Open the card up, put the lattice panel onto the card, and then the top panel is going to be glued over that to hide all the edges. Lastly, I'm going to put tape runner right round the inside of the card, put our last piece butt it up into the fold line, matching the rectangles, and then I'm going to trim it with my scissors. Now that's really a blank canvas to decorate any way you really want to. I'm going to put a sentiment up onto the top right hand corner. I'm going to use the Hero Arts Happy Birthday, and I'm just stamping that with VersaFine Onyx black ink. To make my flowers for my card, I'm going to use the Altenew peony scroll stamp set. I'm going to use the 2 flowers and then a variety of the leaves. I'm using watercolour paper by Tim Holtz. I'm going to stamp them with the flowers and the leaves with Versamark ink and then emboss them with white embossing powder. Now I need to do 3 of the main big flower per flower, so I'm going to do 6 in total. Then for the smaller flower I only need to do 2. I'm then going to do a variety of the leaves. I'm not sure how many I'm going to need to use. Once I've done all my stamping and I've put my embossing powder onto them, I'll heat them with my heat tool until the embossing powder is melted. To colour my flowers I'm going to use my Stabilo 68 pens. They're a water-based pen. I'm going to use 3 colours of those, apricot and 2 tones of green, and I'm also going to use an aqua brush. Quite a fine tipped one. Sorry, I don't know the brand of it, I've had it for a little while. To watercolour my flowers I'm going to start off by drawing some of the pen into the base of each petal where the shadows would be, and then I'm going to draw the colour out with my aqua brush. Now if I thin the colour down too much, I can't go back with my Stabilo pen if the paper's wet, so what you can do is just scribble on an acrylic block and then pick up the colour with your aqua brush and put some more colour down into the petal. Now I'm going to work my way around the flower, colouring petals that are a distance away from each other. If you do them side by side, the colour can bleed from one petal to another, and then I'll gradually fill in the whole flower. I'll put a little bit of music on just while you finish watching me paint the flower, and then I'll come back when I'm about to start the leaves. To clean off my brush in between the colours, I just scribble the aqua brush on a piece of scratch paper. Now to paint the leaves, I'm going to use the lattice green first and just put some colour down into the leaves and then pull the colour out with the water brush just the same as the flower. And then go back in with the darker colour and just put a little bit of the colour just down the base of the leaves. I then pull the colour back out with the water brush. If you end up getting too much and it spreads too far, then you just wash your brush off on the scratch paper and then work your way back from the light colour and just push the colour back a little. I'll continue now painting all my flowers and leaves. Some of the flowers I'm painting only the centre of, and some of the flowers I'm just missing 2 of the back petals. This is just so that I can do the 3-dimension part of the flower. I then fussy cut all the flowers and leaves out, and I'm ready to assemble each flower. I used 1mm foam tape to put between the layers. It was rather sticky, so I got myself in a bit of a mess. You can see as I put the flower together that the flower is made up of the bottom layer being a full flower, with the second layer being a full flower minus the two top petals, and then the top layer is just the centre petals, and the other flower is just the full flower and the centre. I'll then get my base card and arrange my flowers and leaves how I want them on my card, and then glue them down with some craft glue. So that's this card completed. Now I did make a different version of this card about a month ago on my blog, so I'll put a link to that below the YouTube video in the description box. It was a cerise card. Thanks for joining me today. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the card, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. Thank you. Bye.